Hi, my name is Claire Gubian. I lead our business transformation at Dataiku. Dataiku is an end-to-end data science platform that enables to work on data science projects from data ingestion, data prep, model building to model monitoring. The business transformation practice helps our customers beyond the software figure out what it takes from a people, process, org perspective to indeed transform your company with AI. My background is in management consulting and in fintech. I used to work at PayPal, where I led our P2P business line for a few years during the mobile revolution. Today, I would like to talk to you about how to get business value from AI and share our perspective around everyday AI and making people extraordinary. So what does it mean exactly? I think we could all say that now AI is a given. It's commonplace. It's no longer the question about should we do AI? Should we be deploying AI? Should we be transforming our organization thanks to AI? It's really about how to do AI. There has been significant proof that AI brings business value. Now it's more a question of how do you create this business value at scale? And beyond the technology itself, what do you do from a people, process, cultural, org perspective to scale AI? The pandemic has certainly helped accelerate this trend, but the question of how is important to solve. In this presentation, we're going to see how Dataiku thinks about deploying AI at scale, what it takes, and also we will go through a few customer examples that illustrate and show real-life examples of AI at scale. So when thinking about the how, what we see is that there are many different potential conflicting priorities that you need to juggle with. On the one hand, it's about satisfying data experts, about making sure they are empowered, they have the right tools, the right freedom to deploy data science projects. It's about maybe hiring more. But on the other hand, it's also about empowering business experts to do predictive analytics, to do advanced analytics. So that's one big tension around talent. The second big tension is it mostly about unleashing innovation, making sure that people can be creative and create as many projects by giving them new tech. But then what does it mean from a shadow IT perspective? AI proves value, sure, but it needs to prove value quickly. And so investing in quick wins and developing projects that will help build further momentum and buy-in for AI is critical. But on the other hand, it takes time to do AI properly. It takes time because it means changing the way you work. It means changing the way decisions are being made. It means building trust into the model. And in order to build sustainable success, you need to take time. And also a lot of what AI does is exploratory. Not all of it generates direct business value. So how do you balance both? Another example is this about giving freedom to the teams, about enabling them to do new things, about new capabilities, about being as creative as they can be. But on the other hand, there's also this question of applying the same standards, about centralizing, about making sure you are in control of what's being created. A lot of tensions, a lot of maybe contradictory priorities. We believe that it's not an or question, that it's actually about building the and that there is a way to both satisfy the data experts and empower the business users, that it is about unleashing innovation, but also avoiding shadow IT, and it's about demonstrating value fast and setting up sustainable success. So great, the power of the and, what do we mean, really? What we mean, really, is that we believe that to create business value at scale with AI, it's about systematizing AI and making people extraordinary. And what that means is AI can really be applied to every single part of the organization. It's not just a supply chain question or R&D question. It really can be applied to functions such as finance, HR, marketing, logistics. And it can be used by everyone in the company, making people truly extraordinary. And so we believe that spending time empowering all business people and empowering subject matter experts with predictive analytics will help demonstrate business value. We also believe that it's important that AI helps achieve time to value, helps achieve speed. And so being able to accelerate AI by making it from months to days is critical to realizing business value for the company. And last but not least, it's fabulous to put AI everywhere and empower everyone to be able to do AI. But with scale also comes big responsibility and more risks. So how do you effectively govern those projects? And how do you make sure that models don't go rogue, that you build responsible models is also critical to creating business value at scale. Enough of the theory. Let's see how this works in real life with 3 customer examples. The first one will be GE Aviation, the second one Standard Chartered Bank, and the third one Aviva. So a mix of industries and geographies. Let's start with GE Aviation. GE Aviation is a company that specializes in building jet engines for planes. They have embraced AI and the power of AI for many years now, and they have been convinced that it is extremely important to make AI pervasive and infuse it everywhere in the organization. Their question was essentially, how do we do that? We have so much demand from the business from AI. One option was to hire more data professionals, hire more data scientists, more data analysts, but that can be challenging. It comes with a cost, talent is scarce, and you have to retain that talent. And so they decided to go with a slightly different approach, which was, well, let's hire more data professionals, but also let's make the business professionals, let's turn them into data professionals. And so they embarked on this journey where they built a very ambitious academics program where they picked people from everywhere in the organization and they trained them to advance in predictive analytics. They helped them deploy first use cases. And thanks to that, they achieved tremendous results. They now have more than 2,000 data products created. They are able to move projects in production in less than 2 minutes, and they're generating about $500 million in benefits every year thanks to these data projects. Tremendous results, real results. What's interesting to see about GE Aviation is that they really, from the beginning, decided to infuse AI everywhere. And we have examples, success examples in supply chain, in manufacturing, in IT, in HR, and finance. They also saw that they had to invest in their subject matter experts to make this a reality. Let's move to Standard Chartered Bank. So Standard Chartered Bank is a global bank. They're very big in APAC, for instance, notably. And they decided to apply AI to their FP&A reporting function. They shared with us that they were facing a huge, a complex problem, which was that they had 2 accounting systems, multiple currencies, thousands of cost centers. And at the end of the day, what they had to report on was 600,000 permutations involving millions of moving pieces. And they were using a spreadsheet-based process to do that. They decided to invest in AI to help with that. And I think what's pretty impressive with what they did is, first of all, they were able to significantly increase analyst productivity by a factor of 30, actually, saving thousands of hours on very manual and repeat tasks. But even more so, by automating those complex data processing workflows, they were actually able to report on much more than what they used to do. They used to say it was 10%, and they were able to significantly increase that. And as a result, it means that they're just able to better measure and better react to market changes. Lastly, what I think is pretty compelling in the story is that they decided to actually bet on their accountants to do that. Data accountants are extremely data literate person with obviously analytical skills. They decided to upskill them into data science techniques. And as Craig Turrell puts it, they're now producing brilliant stuff and having tremendous impact for the bank. Our last example is going to be Aviva. Aviva is a leading UK multi-line insurer, and they also embarked on their AI journey a few years ago. And they basically lots of mergers and acquisitions led to having multiple legacy systems, multiple databases out there, making it very siloed. And they wanted to figure that out. They also wanted to make sure that their data science team was working hand in hand with the business in order to make sure that they were working on the right projects, tying their outputs to the strategic goals of the company. And so what they did in order to make sure that happened is they invested in bringing their analytics practice to become agile. They leveraged the agile methodology. And that has two benefits, at least. The first thing is that it enables them to deliver value quick. They're using quick cycles of iteration and production and course correcting if a project is not going in the right direction. The second part is that it enables to break the silos between the data science team and the business and make sure that data scientists are not working in their ivory tower, that they're actually working on those projects that matter and that the business is also highly involved in those projects. They have achieved tremendous business results thanks to that across 5 different business units. They've been able to cater to a very broad range of users from full code to no code. And their data science team is now 5 times more efficient and spending time on what matters, creating value for the business. So these 3 examples give real life proof of how business value can really create value for organization. And as we can see, investing in the people, investing in the processes really makes a difference. To finish this keynote, I'd like to open it up on one last topic that we haven't talked too much about, which is culture. As the lead of the business transformation practice at Dataiku, I get this question a lot. What does it take to become a data-driven organization? How can we infuse a data-driven culture in our company? And so when I get these kind of questions, I always like to come back to the semantics and look at what does the word mean, culture? And so I'll just read out the definition. Culture is the sum of internal beliefs and values that influence the way coworkers make decisions and work together. It's often implied. When looking at this definition, I would like to bring your attention to the word beliefs and values. So and implied. So this is basically when you're making a decision in your day-to-day job, what do you assume is the right thing to do? And you assume that your coworkers also assume. And this is going to obviously influence the way you make a decision and the way you're going to interact with your coworker, the way you're going to work together. What we see is that there are a lot of beliefs that are tied to AI, and those beliefs can actually be a barrier to adoption and a barrier to scaling AI and getting great value out of it. And so to close this keynote, I'd like to share 4 beliefs that we often see and offer an alternative to this belief to help promote this data-driven culture within your organization. The first common belief is that AI is about magic and autonomous cars. It can't really help on the day-to-day. It's for Google, it's for going on Mars. Well, AI is indeed about autonomous cars for sure, but it's also about everyday processes, and it can be truly applied everywhere. I think the 3 examples we just looked at demonstrate that. And why? Well, because essentially it's a way of thinking, of working, of solving problems, leveraging data to do that and leveraging insights. The second common belief is AI removes the power from humans and cuts jobs. And why should I even go down that path? I'm going to make myself redundant. And why should I trust a machine where my guts tell me much better? Well, it's true that AI helps automate, helps save time. Actually, it helps sometimes get rid of manual or repeat tasks that we don't necessarily like to do. But more importantly speaking, it actually helps augment human capabilities. It helps make people extraordinary. It helps people make things that they could not do before. It helps provide insights that were not available before. The third common belief is that AI is for a few PhD, a happy few. AI is still very much a black box for a lot of business people. They think you need to be a genius in applied mathematics to be able to get AI and to use AI. Well, it's true that it helps if you have graduated in applied mathematics to do AI, but actually AI is also for everyone. Everyone can learn to use AI to improve their decision-making in their day-to-day job. It's about leveraging data and predictive analytics to better make decisions. And you don't need to master code in order to be able to do that. You can leverage AutoML techniques, for instance, or technologies that just make it easier for you. And last but not least, the common belief that AI is a hero job, that it's the power of the individual. It's this crack genius who's cracking this super complex problem on his own or her own and saving the day or generating tremendous value. It's true, it can be a hero job, but we believe it's above all a collective job, and that what makes problem solving much better is when you bring different profiles and different skill sets together around the table, and you bridge tech, analytics, business, subject matter experts to really better solve the problem, make a better decision, better interpret the data. And the last final thought I would like to share with you is that what we've seen as a common denominator of success of all the companies we've been working with is the time and energy that they've spent in building a diverse community around data analytics. And by community, we mean both community of people, so multiple types of people with different skill sets, no code, low code, high code, coming from the business, the tech, the analytics, but also the practices, the way you work, the way you make decisions, the way you use data, the way your data is made reliable, the way you access it. Investing in a community will definitely help change the culture and make it data-driven in order to drive fantastic business value. Thank you very much.